Shields up, Ironbreakers. Rurikhan here coming at you with another video. Welcome back to Monster Hunter Rise, and in this video we're going to be talking about the Rampage. Like I mentioned in my previous video, there's a lot of new information to dissect from the Monster Hunter digital event. As a matter of fact, there's even a video that I want to make talking about Monster Hunter Stories 2 because I'm super hyped about playing that game. Good God, that game looks so good. But naturally, we're going to have to go by parts. I also want to do a video analyzing the new trailer and all of that jazz. But for now, let's focus on the Rampage because there was actually a significant amount of new information in regards to this mode. And let me tell you guys right off the bat that I feel like Rampage Mode is going to be one of those things that is going to drive a bit of a wedge within the Monster Hunter community. And what do I mean by this? From my experience in past Monster Hunter games, particularly Monster Hunter World, obviously, because that's the one that I cover the most, I've noticed a significant amount of pushback when it came to particularly different features from traditional hunting. And when I'm talking about traditional hunting, I mean, you versus the monster in the field. You just go to the field, fight against the monster. I mean, there's people that don't even like arena quests, and that's understandable. You like what you like. I'm not trying to call anybody out or anything like that. Look, you like what you like. If you don't like certain things, that is fine. That is your prerogative. These are video games at the end of the day. We're not here to just get upset at each other. At least that's not the way that I look at things. So I can understand some people not appreciating the arena because you don't get to use your own sets of gear. There are also people that did not like the new siege events that we had during Monster Hunter World. And Rampage is definitely one of those things that is really out there when it comes to traditional monster hunting. So I just feel like there's not really going to be a middle ground here. Once you do your first Rampage hunt, you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. Now, initially when I saw the first footage of Rampage, with the Rampage trailer and whatnot, I thought that it was going to be based around you fighting 4 monsters and then an apex monster in the end. And make no mistake, that still might be kind of like the gist of what this new mode is, but the wording that they've placed on the official website actually makes me think that it might be a little bit different, right? So what they're saying here is fend off hordes of monsters in the Rampage. This almost makes me think that potentially you're going to be fighting several groups of 4 monsters. And you guys are like, wow, that just seems like might be a significant time investment. Yes, I do think that Rampage is going to be a bit of a longer form type of content, and I do think that it is also going to be more leaned towards multiplayer hunting. I think it's not going to be a particularly friendly solo activity, which is something that I initially thought could be the case because the NPCs were coming in to join, but what we saw during some of the footage during the digital event was the NPCs will come in even if you're in a multiplayer group. So just look at it like this. In this particular digital event, we saw a scene, and I'm going to try to put it here if I can do the editing properly, because it's going to be crazy to edit videos properly today. I'm sorry. But we saw about 4 monsters on screen, and at the same time, 4 hunters on screen, a bunch of artillery weapons on screen. Some of them automatic, by the way, which we'll get into a little bit further ahead. Some of these artillery weapons that you're going to be placing, they're automatic. You don't need to be manning them in order for them to work. And then on top of that, we have the hunter's buddies on screen. And on top of that, we have NPCs on screen. Dude, it is insane. The amount of stuff that is on screen at any given time, it's almost guaranteed that the Switch is going to lose some FPS there. I think that's going to happen. We'll see if it happens or not. But, you can't expect... I don't think we can expect the Switch to be able to handle all of this stuff on screen at the same time. It's going to be a little bit too chaotic. Now, like I said, due to the fact that they're saying hordes of monsters, I'm thinking that potentially we could have several groups of 4 monsters, but they're going to have reduced HP, so you're going to be able to kill them a little bit easier. That is my prediction, but again, I could be wrong because there's just so much about this mode, and I can't wait to dissect this with Gaijin because I'm sure he's going to be able to check the Japanese version of the website, and we'll be able to talk about this with much more depth when it comes to the Third Fleet podcast, which hopefully you guys will look forward to this week, which is going to be pretty crazy with all of the news that we have here. We might just have to be recording the entirety of the night and even split this into 2 episodes. I don't know, dude. There's just so much. Anyway, the description that they have for this is a new quest type where you have to protect Kimura Village from hordes of monsters, using hunting installations and occasionally getting up close and personal to complete these quests. Hunting installations that they have here, these are basically you manually placing down the artillery mounts, because this is going to have a bit of a tower defense aspect to it. And I think we already talked about this, how there are all of these things on the Stronghold map, and in those things on the Stronghold, there's like the markings, and it looks like going to just be placing down defenses there. So it's not like there's going to be defenses on every single position. You are going to choose where the defenses are going to be based around the monsters that you are fighting, and you will choose which one of those defenses are manned, unmanned, but we're getting into more details about that. Now, see, another description here that makes me think that there's going to be more than 4 monsters in a given hunt is that specifically says waves of monsters are on their way. Hunts on a scale like never before. Numerous monsters attack in hordes led by a major threat. The place is crawling with large monsters. As its name implies, the major threat is larger and stronger than your average monster. And in the screenshot that we see on the official website here, you see a Great Azuchi that is frigging giant. Like, if you fought a Great Azuchi in the demo, you have a decent idea of what its size is, and then you have like a hunter here, and the hunter is actually closer to the camera than the Great Azuchi, and the Great Azuchi still looks friggin' massive. But I don't think that this one is an Apex, because the Apex have like red eyes and red markings on their body, at least the Apex or Zuros does. So this is just a major threat. I think there's going to be a difference between major threats and Apex monsters, where Apex monsters are obviously going to be the more powerful ones. At least that is what I would expect. But yeah, it's pretty friggin' insane. Now, they talk a little bit about the map here, which is the Stronghold, and here they talk about how Kimura Village was almost wiped out during the Rampage 50 years ago. To prevent this from happening again, the villagers put all of their technological knowledge together to develop the Stronghold. This is where you'll face the calamity alongside your friends from the village. You'll have to make use of its solid defenses and various hunting installations to protect your hometown from the monsters. Again, hunting installations, artillery things that you're going to be placing. Your friends will help you out too. Use hunting installations to give the monsters a warm welcome. During these quests, you can use special hunting installations. See so much hunting installation chatter in here. They were developed for the sole purpose of stopping the rampage. Make use of the prep time in between monster hordes to place these devices all over the Stronghold. So this almost seems like a zombie mode. You know, like in Call of Duty, you have those modes where eventually you go and you buy some weapons, then more zombies come, you defeat all the zombies, you get some time to like fix up your defenses and stuff, then more zombies come. This feels like that. So it's going to have elements of tower defense, almost elements of Dynasty Warriors due to just how much stuff is on screen at any given time. So it's definitely kind of weird. There are 3 main types of installations. Make sure you use the right one for each situation and objective. The man type. This is ballistae and cannons, etc. This is traditional artillery. By the way, the cannons actually have a little aiming circle, so you can actually see where your bullet is going to land, which is a major improvement from previous Monster Hunter games where, you would usually, hey, we flip this cannon like 3 times to the right, 2 times to the left. You get a general idea of where the thing's going to land. Now you actually get a targeting thing. And I think it's important because of, how precise you're going to have to be with some of this artillery to make the best of it, right? So you got your ballista, your cannons, and these require a mounted hunter in order to fire. You have your auto type, which activates automatically in certain cases. Examples include Defender Ballista, which will attack nearby monsters. This definitely sounds like some friggin' tower defense stuff right here. Oh, I'm gonna place my turret here. And I think these will even be able to be upgraded because they talk about that further down the line. And then the limited supply type. Only a certain number of these can be set up, so you can call on Hinoa and Minoto for help, for instance. So I think that the limited supply type is going to be something very, very specific, like potentially Dragonators. If you're even able to place Dragonators, which I'm not sure if you will be. The splitting Wyvern Shot, which is so glorious. Like when I saw that, my face lit up, and it wasn't just from the visuals on screen either. That big nuclear I just want a splitting Wyvern Shot in my friggin' gun lens. Can I have that, please, Capcom? No, I know that's too much to ask, but Now they say here, Inoa and Minato will help out with a combo attack in perfect sync. You can't fight the Rampage without the help of your friends from the village. Now this thing almost makes me think that the NPCs are almost going to be a single type use thing. So like you place them down almost like defenses and they come up and they do their attack and then they're probably going to leave. So they're not necessarily going to be fighting alongside you, or maybe Hinoa and Minato are special and they do the combo attack in sync and then you can get other NPCs to help you out. I'm not exactly sure what the situation is with that. I definitely hope that you can still get other NPCs to help you out, even if just to make the Rampage mode a little bit more solo-friendly for people that either can't afford the Nintendo Online or simply don't have a reliable enough internet connection. I hope those people are still going to be able to enjoy Rampage mode, because otherwise, you know, we're going to see a lot of people complaining the same way that they did with Siege events and stuff like that. And I'm not blaming you for it. You know, it's a tough situation being in a position where you don't have reliable internet. Trust me, I know the struggle. I've lived it throughout more than half of my life without exaggerating, okay? There was a time in my life where the lid of a trash can coupled together with some 3G garbage thing was my internet, okay? And yeah, I know the struggle. Trust me. I'm not going through it right now because my internet is pretty decent, but I know the struggle. So I empathize a lot. But yeah. So we'll see if it's still going to be solo friendly or not. I hope it is. They definitely announced some difficulty stuff today as well, and they announced that there's going to be 4 difficulty things for hub quests, so I'm hoping those also extend to Rampage, but we shall see. Anyway, then we have repel monsters to increase the level of the Stronghold. This is what I was talking about. As the level increases, you'll get to place new kinds of hunting installations, unlock new weapons like machine cannons to unleash a hail of bullets. Now, what I'm wondering is this something that you level up forever? You know, like the more Rampage hunts you do, the more your Stronghold levels up and you just get the new unlocks until you eventually reach a cap? Or is this something that you level up on a per hunt basis? So you start with your basic Stronghold every time, and then the more monsters you kill and the faster you kill them, the more it levels up, unlocking more potent weapons. It's like I could see points for both. The problem with it being something that that scales up even outside of each hunt, so, you know, permanent upgrades, is that you eventually reach a roof, at which point you no longer unlock things. On the other hand, you know, you can always experience that upgrade process on each hunt if we go with the second option, but it can also lead to burnout because you already know the most efficient route to take. It's like, okay, so I kill 5 monsters, then I upgrade this particular type of ballista or this particular type of cannon, which unlocks this other thing that makes this thing easier. You know, we'll see what they have planned, but it's very interesting that there's even a level up mode for the Stronghold. Personally, I think I would lean more towards the permanent upgrades, even if eventually you reach a point where it's like, well, I unlocked everything, my Stronghold is fully maxed out. I still feel like that is a more interesting thing than necessarily having to go through the upgrade process every single time, because ultimately, this is not Dota. This is not, and it's still not a tower defense game, despite the fact of it having a lot of inspiration there. So I'm hoping that, I'm hoping that whatever it is that they do with this is going to be interesting, but just know that you will be able to level up the Stronghold to gain access to more powerful defenses. Turn the tide of battle with powerful installations. There also exists some extremely powerful hunting installations like the Dragonator and the Splitting Wyvern Shot. Once you use them, it takes a while before they can be used again, but if you nail the timing, they can make the difference between victory or defeat. Dude, the single mention of Splitting Wyvern Shot is enough to put a big old smile on my face, dude. I know that I don't have a face cam right now because I'm super tired and I look like crap from sleep deprivation. So yeah, just deal with the video like it is, but just know there's a big old smile every time I hear the words Splitting Wyvern Shot. Now, there's another thing that they added as well, which is the counter signal. Now, the counter signal gives you a huge boost to, I would assume, attack power, because they say gain a huge boost to your strength. When the counter signal is activated, all hunters get raring to go and gain a significant increase in their attack. This is the time to pick up your weapon and get up close and personal. And see, Let me just tell you guys, let me just sell you a little bit on my Gunlance problems, okay? This is one of the reasons why I really don't like the fact that Gunlance shells don't scale with attack. It's because when you get a bonus like this, or when you're together with a hunting horn, or, you know, any other 1,000 situations that could potentially happen where you would gain an attack boost, but particularly for this, for Rampage Mode and a counter signal, it's like this is going to be a huge boost to your damage. And there you're sitting with your friggin', I don't know, +3 artillery on your set, and you're focusing on shelling and all of these things. You're going to be the only hunter that doesn't get a benefit from this. I mean, sure, you get a benefit from some of your attack moves, but like, say you're playing long shelling, depending on how long shelling even plays in Rise, but if long shelling plays similar to World, you're going to be sitting there like, yay, guys, so good we get counter signal. Yay, my shells deal the exact same damage. Yay. So I really do hope that counter signal they thought about counter signal doing something for Gunlance shells. But anyway, we'll see how that stuff pans out. Now, this counter signal is activated automatically during the Rampage. So while you are doing your Rampage thing, it can just be triggered automatically. Or you can also place a counter gong as a hunter installation, and that triggers the counter signal. Now, I'm wondering if the two are mutually exclusive. So like if you place the counter gong, if it's not going to give you the automatic one, or if the counter gong is just like you get an additional counter signal thing, which boosts your attack power. But it is cool that they've done this, because otherwise, if you don't have a counter signal, it can be very tempting to just sit on the hunter installations or the artillery and just shell away at monsters with artillery and whatnot. But yeah, I like the fact that they do the counter signal to kind of incentivize people to go down there and get their hands dirty. Like, I know that I personally am not someone that likes to sit on artillery too long. I know it sounds weird because I like explosions and all that, but ultimately I like playing my weapon. So I'm happy that this feature exists. Most of the time I'm probably going to be down there in the muck shelling away at monsters, but we'll see how that stuff pans out. Except during Splitting Wyvern Shot. Whenever Splitting Wyvern Shot is up, nobody take my Splitting Wyvern Shot. I'm going to run up there and unleash a tactical nuke into the monsters. It is what it is. And then finally they talk about the biggest threat of all, apexes. Apexes are even stronger than regular monsters. An Urzuro so mighty, it was crowned an apex. It is eternally possessed by wrath and terror, possibly due to the myriad wounds that cover its body. It's clear just by looking at it that it possesses immense strength. The fear it inspires in villagers is testament to how much more powerful than a regular Urzuros it is. Apex Urzuros. Now, besides all of this, one of the things that we noticed was, and I've seen a lot of people complain during my stream that, oh my god, the UI is so busy, there's so much stuff in the UI. Keep in mind, for those of you that played the demo, you'll know that you can completely customize your UI, disable or enable certain elements. There's a lot of stuff that you can turn on and turn off to make things look a little bit cleaner and neater. But beyond the customizing your UI stuff, we also saw that there were a ton of side objectives there in the example of Rampage Hunt that they had, like something as in inflict a certain amount of ailment status, take a certain number of shots from artillery, use the Dragonator or the Splitting Wyvern Shot twice, and pick up certain materials along the way. So there was just a ton of stuff for you to do during the Rampage. And I don't think you're going to be carving monsters unless they give you time to carve them in between the waves that they're talking about. So we'll see about that, because it just feels kind of weird if you'd be carving monsters while everybody else is fighting another monster. I don't think that makes a lot of sense. And I hope that they don't do the same thing that they did with the Guiding Lands, which is like, here's a million shinies on the ground. Better hurry up and catch them, because that caused people to die so often trying to get those shinies. But yeah. It was definitely interesting to learn more about the Rampage. And again, I just think it's going to be one of those features that people will either love it or hate it. But let me know what you guys think about the Rampage with all of the new information that we got today in the comment section down below. I've got more videos coming for sure, because I'm just there's just so much still to dissect. But yeah, Let me know in the comment section if I missed anything about Rampages. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like button. If you did not enjoy this video, hit the dislike button because feedback is important. Thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay strong, stay safe, peace out.